Hey guys, you have homework tonight, page 995, 4 through 6. Um, I'm sorry I didn't give you guys a heads up that I will not be in today, but I still expect you to do your homework, so let's take a look at these problems. So for number 4, we're supposed to graph, identify the amplitude and the period. Okay, so we have f of x, which is just another way of saying y, 2 sine 1/2 x. Now, if you recall our standard equation, p sine q x plus c plus r. So here they don't use c or r, but I see a p and I see a q. So p equals 2, which means that equals amplitude. Okay, so that's how high the graph is going to go. And then q equals 1/2. Now, if you recall how we find our new period, this is in your notes for both sine and cosine. To find our new period, we take 2 pi and we divide by q. So this is 2 pi divided by 1/2. And of course we're going to make this multiplication, so 2 pi times, and we have to flip 1/2, so that's going to be times 2, because 1/2 flipped over is 2 over 1. And that's going to be 4 pi, which equals our period. Okay, so if we're actually graphing it, so here's pi, here's 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, 1, 2, -1, -2, negative pi, -2 pi. That's good enough. Okay, so we know that sine starts at 0. And normally we do one hill up, one hill down, one hill up, one hill down, and we last 2 pi. In this case we have to do 4 pi. So that means my first hill is going to make it all the way to 2 pi. So right here I need to get up to 2. So it's going to look something like this. And then we need to make up a, oh my goodness, we need to make a hill down here. And that's one period. And then I'm going to go ahead and we have that part too. Okay, so amplitude equals 2, period equals 4 pi. So for number 5, we have h of x equals 1/4 cosine of x. Good, I like this. So we have to ask ourselves once again, p sine of qx. I left out c and r because they don't ask for anything. They just ask for amplitude and period. So q is just 1 in our case, which just means we're going to have the regular period of 2 pi. So the period is 2 pi. And then p is 1/4, which means our amplitude equals 1/4. Meaning that's how high this graph goes, which is actually pretty short. Oh, I wrote sine here. It should be cosine. Kudos to those that caught that. Alright, so we have our graph. This is 1. This is -1. Pi, 2 pi, negative pi, -2 pi. Okay, now we're not starting at 1 though. We have to go to 1/4. So we're going to call this 1/4. Maybe right there is -1/4. Okay, so remember this is cosine, so we start here at the top, and after 2 pi I'm just going to make one big valley here, and after 2 pi we're going to be back up at the top, which of course is very short. So right here in the middle is where I'm going to hit my minimum, so it's going to look something like, oh, I messed that up, sorry. So we go down, and then right here, and then up. You can see that. Let me try to make it real dark. Okay. That's what it would be. So notice it never gets very high because that 1/4 is going to shrink it down. And then be here. And I went too low. That was bad. This is a shameful graph. Shameful. But it's close to what I need. It's close. Alright, so it's like that. Very, very shallow. Number 6 is going to be k of x equals sine pi of x. Now this, I feel like it looks scary, but it's really not. So once again, if we have p sine qx, p isn't there, so it's just 1, which means my amplitude is 1. Now my period, so we know q equals pi, so period is 2 pi divided by q, which is pi, equals 2. So that's my period. So that's kind of cool. So that means no pi's. I made this really large graph. Pi, 2 pi, negative pi, negative 2 pi. Oh, pi. I'm not doing pi. We're going to make this 1. We're going to make this 2. Make this negative 1. Make this negative 2. Okay. So, wow, I'm slipping on this last part. Doing no good. Alright. So that means that I need to complete a cycle by 2. Which means I'm going to need to go 1 hill. I'm going to go like this. And then 1 hill down. Like that. And then if I was going to go backwards, I'd go 1 hill down, 1 hill up. And that's what it looks like. But the key is that it takes just 2 to finish a cycle. And remember that in sine, our cycle, we don't start maximum, we start at 0, and we make 1 hill and another hill. Alright. Hopefully you guys are doing okay with this. I know the classwork today is all about graphing. So good luck with that. And bring those questions on Friday. I'll be here. But this is stuff that we really got to get down. So I challenge you to work at it.